What's up, everybody? So welcome back to another Bike Gladiator Ring Showdown. This is where I take some popular complete bikes, I put them head to head, I compare the different specs, and we figure out which bike is the best bike and which bike's the best bang for your buck. So in this video today, we're going to be going over the Kink Switch with the Sunday X. Now I really like both of these bikes. One is obviously going to be better than the other, and we're going to figure that out. Now Marvin with 2 N's recommended this video, and if you guys want to be shouted out and you want your name on the whiteboard during the video, go down to the comments and recommend which comparison you want me to do next. With that being said, guys, let's hop right into the video. The Dumpster Bomb mission. Growing BMX by making it fun and easy to understand. For some of us, it's an escape. For others, it's a passion. But for all of us, it's a lifestyle. You're gonna love this sport. I'm glad you're letting me teach you everything that I know about it. So if you're new to the series, let me explain how it works. We put 2 bikes up here. We subtract the cheapest bike from the most expensive bike, and that's going to give us a decimal point that we take away from the life points. Now both bikes start off with 10 health points, and then that difference is going to be subtracted. And what this does is this makes sure that we're really considering the price to quality ratio that I talk about a lot in my reviews. After we have the 2 different health points set up, we run through the different things listed here, and whichever bike has the higher quality version of that, they're going to take away a life point from the other bike. It's really fun, and it's a really cool way to see which bike's actually better. If you guys like this content, head down, hit the like button right now. While you're doing that, I'm going to read you the descriptions of the 2 bikes we have here. So first, we're going to talk about the 2021 Sunday X. Now, this is what Sunday says. With 100% chromoly frame, forks, and bars, the 2021 X bike is difficult to match. These bikes push the envelope with a tough pro-level Odyssey Sunday parts package, and frame design upgrades like the X's removable braking hardware mean business, even when your approach to riding is all about having fun. I hate how Sunday words those. I have a stroke reading it, but whatever. This is what Kink says about the Switch. It's really long, so I'm just going to kind of run through it, okay? An all-new model for 2021, the Kink Switch is truly standout bike in our lineup. Designed as a brakeless bike, the Switch also includes removable brake mounts and a full brake set for those wanting to ride brakes. The 2021 Switch doesn't disappoint in its design or components either. It features 100% full 4130 chromoly construction and sealed bearings throughout the bike. The addition of 2 included plastic pegs mean this bike is grind ready out the box. It comes in a matte gravity purple colorway with black parts, raw stem, and Kink Chinaski aftermarket seat. Then it talks about some of the added on parts on the Kink. I'm not going to read through it. But those are the 2 bikes. One thing that I really like about the X is that it has 2 different versions. So it has a Julian Ortega version and Eric Elstrand version, and these things change between the bikes. Like one comes with a free coaster, one comes with 4-piece bars, one comes with a longer top tube. So that's really cool. I'll talk about it a little more in depth, but let's get into the fun part of the video to decide which bike is actually better. All right, now let's start with the health points. The Kink Switch is going to have 10. The difference between these 2 bikes, you can do it one way or the other. I think the Eric Elstrand version is 509, and the Ortega version is the one that comes with the clutch free coaster, so it's 530. Let's just assume we're going with the 509, and that's going to be 10. All right, so we're going to do 509 minus 499. It's going to give us 10. That's going to be our decimal point, okay? So the X is actually going to start with 9.9. Now, this is because these bikes are super similarly priced. So now let's run down through. Whichever bike has a higher quality version, it's going to take away a point from the other bike, okay? So the frame material on the Switch is full chromoly, and it's also full chromoly on the X. So no points are going to be taken away. This means that both frames are really strong and they can withstand a mid-level riding. So if you're doing a lot of drops and a lot of spins, you don't have to worry about the frame snapping or bending like you would with a high tensile steel frame. Now both bars are also full chromoly. Same thing goes there. High tensile steel bars just bend, and you don't want your bars to bend. You'll have a bad day. You'll have to wait for shipping. You'll be sad. Like, nobody wants that, right? Next, the rim quality. Now this is where it gets a little different because the Switch has double wall rims, but the Sunday X has a single front wall and a double wall in the rear. So what we're going to do is we are going to take away a point from the X, and it's going to be at 8.9. Now I want to elaborate a little bit more about the difference in there. A single wall front wheel really isn't going to mess up your riding that much. And that's because when you do spins, your back wheel is going to take a lot of the impact. So you should get away with a single wall rim. It really shouldn't affect you that much unless you're doing like huge drops, or you try to hop up a curb and you slam your front wheel in the curb because you can't hop. I don't know. But it's really not that big of an issue. For the sake of the video, we're going to take away a point because the Switch is higher quality wheels, obviously. Now the weight of the Switch is 27 pounds and 10 ounces. Keep in mind, this is with 2 pegs, and the X is 25.75, but this is with no pegs. So overall, the X is still gonna be lighter. I'm sure even if you put 2 pegs on it, the pegs aren't really gonna weigh, they might weigh a pound each. I don't think so. They'll weigh like half a pound or something. So the X is gonna take away a point from the Switch, and this is super close right now. So I added in the peg question here because for a lot of street riders, that's a key factor. And in my opinion, hub guards are expensive, pegs are way overpriced. So if your bike comes with those things, then that's gonna be a bonus for you. Now, but these parts are a little less important than what's up here, so they're only gonna count for half a point. Now the Switch does come with pegs, but the X comes with no pegs. So we're gonna take away half a point there, and we're gonna be at 8.4. They both have 5 different aftermarket parts. On the aftermarket parts, I don't count the seat, I don't count the brakes. I really count like wheels, hubs, tires, and pedals, like the beefy parts that actually matter. And both of these bikes have 5. Now, the X, like I mentioned before, comes in the Julian Ortega and the Eric Elstrand. So to me, those count as 2 different variations, and the Switch only has the Switch. So that's gonna be half a point away. I think I drew my line the wrong way there, but it doesn't really matter. 8.5, and that's it. So that was a really fun rundown of the 2 bikes, and the Switch just barely has 0.1 health more than the X. Keep in mind, if we would have gone with the $530 version, the price or the health difference would be a lot different. But for the sake of the video, we just did the cheapest X version. What really got it here is that the Switch has double wall rims, and the X only has that single front wall, which overall makes the Switch a higher quality bike. Here's the deal, guys. I really like both of these bikes. I wish the Sunday had double wall rims for both, and I wish they included pegs. The Switch does. Now here are a couple things to keep in mind if you're shopping for either of these bikes. The Switch comes in a 20.75 inch top tube. So Google BMX size guide to see if that's the right size for you. And if it's not, the Sunday X comes in either a 20.75 or a 21. So if you're a taller guy, you're gonna wanna go with that 21 instead of the 20.75 Switch. The Switch also has a free coaster, and the X has a free coaster and a cassette option. So you can pick which one's better for you and then choose it that way. The third thing is that the Switch has pegs and the X does not. So if you want to just get the bike, put it together and start riding street, the Switch is definitely going to be a better way to go. And then they both have similar chainstay lengths, meaning they're 12.75, so it's going to be really responsive, really snappy, and you're going to have a fun time doing spins on either of these bikes. All right, so that is going to be the end of the video. Now remember, if you want your name up here hanging out with Marvin in the next video, head down to the comments and leave me a comment telling me which two bikes you want me to do a comparison of next. Don't forget, every Friday I hang out and answer questions for an hour live. So if you guys want to ask me anything about BMX, head over there and hang out with me. I have so much fun doing it, and I have so much fun teaching you guys everything about BMX. Now, I do have really in-depth reviews on my website and also in video form of both of these bikes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the website version of these reviews, and then I'll also pop up the YouTube reviews on the end screen. If you guys like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.